In this week's channel messages from the guides, we talk about the transitions that are happening and that you're never truly stuck. You're just a choice away from being on a different timeline or on a different path. And that sometimes you need to keep your focus on what it is that you want to achieve and keep taking one step at a time in order to get to that instead of turning around or quitting or not even starting the journey. It's about pushing through the uncomfortableness that happens during a transition in order to make it through to the other side. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm a light worker that uses automatic writing to connect to my guides, and I share their messages here. So, let's get into this week's reading. You don't need to understand all the ins and outs of the process to be a part of the transitions happening. There's a tendency to want to understand things so that you can prepare for the worst case scenarios, but that's not how it has to be. Think about when you were a child. New things were exciting. You were fearlessly ready to jump in and try without that fear. You need to come back to that. We aren't asking you to blindly trust. We are just asking you to remove that judgment and fear and just go with the flow and how things want to unfold instead of trying to make everything fit into the restrictions of your preferences or comfort zone. Come from expectancy, knowing something good is going to happen and being open to it. Don't come from judgment, expectations, and made up scenarios and outcomes. These limit you. They put you in a low vibration. These add stress to your life instead of letting you just be in the moment, living it. Most adults aren't really living their lives, so to speak. They are caught up in obligations, routines, and such that they have stopped doing what makes them happy, stopped making the changes that would improve their circumstances, stopped caring about themselves. You often care more about your job or your kids than yourself. This is why you feel depleted and like time is just passing you by. This is part of your society and how it was set up. You are following how the generations before handled things and continued the process, not realizing that those generations had different circumstances that made those scenarios necessary. Things have continued to change with technology, advancements, wages, human rights, etc., that are not the same as the generations before or even a few decades ago. You must adjust to it. You can't expect someone in their 30s now to live the same as someone in their 30s 50 years ago. The price of everything has changed. How much a house costs versus salary is different. Food still had nutrients a few generations ago versus now being processed out due to production, pesticides, and farming practices. Everything is different. So you can't follow what was done before as the circumstances have changed, and you must adapt and change as well. What might have worked for some might not work for others. What values worked for one generation or society might not be relevant now or in the current political structure. The point is, you can't base your future or needs on something that is outdated and no longer relevant. You must adapt and find what works and where things are now, what works for who you are now and who you want to be moving forward. You aren't stuck or trapped. That is just a perspective and is a choice. Once you start to feel that way, it's time to look at what is working and what isn't and make changes accordingly. You aren't obligated to do anything that you don't want to do. You must start to take back your life and future and make it your own. Think back to when you were a child dreaming of being an adult. How does your life compare? How many of those dreams did you allow to become reality? Would the younger version of you be proud or confused by the life that you live now? You are never too old to dream or change course in your life. You must realize that safety is an inside job, not an outside one. Once you realize that, you can start to remove the fear and let go of what you consider to be a safety net, as it was only holding you back. Once you feel safe within yourself, the rest becomes objects, options, and preferences. It allows you to choose for the correct reasons instead of what societal norms have directed you towards. This allows you to be who you were meant to be, find your gifts, express yourself, and contribute to the whole in ways only you can. It frees up your energy, releases your anxiety, and allows you to enjoy life instead of worrying about the part that you are playing or fitting into someone else's restrictions. Only then do you find balance and come into alignment. This allows you to find your path, come into your purpose, and understand more fully why you are here. Wouldn't it be wonderful to enjoy life again? To look forward to a new day instead of dreading what you need to get done? Wouldn't it be wonderful to do something that you love instead of doing something that you hate just to provide a paycheck for a life that you don't have the free time to live? Things don't have to be this way. They weren't always like this. For some cultures, they have a different structure. There are other ways to live, and if collectively you decide that this isn't working, you can build something that does. Or you can individually change your life to be better suited for what you need instead of what society tells you is correct. Find what it is you truly want or need. Find what would make you happy. The world is full of options, and if what you want does not exist, you can be the one that creates it and makes it your own. You are never stuck. You are always just a choice away from a different path, a new journey leading to a better life. The question is, how brave are you? Are you able to deal with some discomfort during transition to get to what you want on the other side? The world is the same way right now. What is and isn't working. Are people willing to deal with discomfort to remove and resolve the problems to create solutions, or will they continue to allow just because it's familiar? Life is a series of choices that lead to different experiences and different outcomes. Each choice puts you on a different timeline, following where that direction leads. You can make individual changes that affect only your path, or you can work with others and make changes that affect the whole. You aren't alone. There is always the opportunity for collaboration, for quicker and bigger resolves. How willing are you to seek out those who can help, who are on the same page, who have the resources to make thoughts a reality? There must be effort for change to occur, actions that connect to the thoughts to help bring them into fruition. Without actions, it stays in thought form. You must be willing to see things through to get to the other side. Think of it as a long hike. You're set the goal of seeing the summit, that special view. If you never start the hike, then it continues to be a dream. If you give up and turn around halfway through, then it remains unattained and just a thought. It's only when you push through the discomfort, stay focused on what you want to achieve, that you make it to the summit and get that reward. Once you make it there, your energy is refreshed and you feel the elation of completion. From there, things become easier. The walk back seems to go faster, and you are on a new trajectory in your life where you aren't thinking about what could have been, but on the journey of accomplishment and where that leads. What doors have opened, and what you found within yourself that got you through that you can now use in other scenarios and build upon. It's all about your willingness to push through the transitions so that you may come out the other side and where that leads. That is where the planet is right now. What actions are you taking to help? What changes are you experiencing? Are you pushing forward or clinging to what was? You have no choice but to move forward, as what once was can no longer be, as it was not working and is now broken. With that in mind, you must now set your thoughts on what it could be. You must think about the view from the summit, the clearing, the gain of the journey. This will help you obtain the future that you'd prefer. You must just continue to push through one step at a time until you get to the other side. Only then will you realize how far you have come. Only then will you recognize how much better things can be. You just need to trust in the process and keep going. This is how the future is built. Thank you, and I will see you next week.